All right, we're going to start out today by going through another preliminary walkthrough of some frequently made mistakes I've seen on the assignment. I'll put this out as a video so you can watch it or others can watch it to try to avoid these problems. So a couple things. First of all, make sure that you give the correct path names to the various database API and timer API retrofit interfaces. This particular one, for example, is missing something important, so it's not going to work because it's not providing the appropriate query string in the get annotation. And down here, similar problem that will cause big trouble when you try to run it. This is also not forming the timed path correctly, so please make sure you look carefully at this stuff and ensure it works. Otherwise, you're going to get strange runtime errors. Won't be able to find the methods. Down here, make sure that you go to the movie class, which is in common model, I think, or models, and make sure you put the right interface in there, and then make sure you override the methods correctly, and please make sure that you use the right checks in those methods. So you need to use a case-insensitive comparison here rather than doing just a case-sensitive comparison. And down here, you don't need to compare the vectors, you just need to compare the IDs for the movies. So that'll speed things up. So make sure you do that. Also, I used ChatGPT to help me out with this. It doesn't give you a 100% correct answer, but it gives you enough to get started, and you can tweak it as you see fit. Now, for the search method, which is the one that takes the list of queries for database service, you need to watch the walkthrough video, which explains how to structure this code into two segments. You have to structure it into one segment that will do a parallel search and store the results in a local variable. And then you need to do another operation using a sequential stream, not a parallel stream, a sequential stream, in order to winnow out any duplicates and then sort the results before you return it as a list. I don't quite know why this is necessary. I haven't spent time really trying to debug it, but I was getting problems if I just had it written like this, so be careful with that. Also, you don't need to have the stream support.stream query splitterator true thing. That's more effort than you require. Just use parallel stream there. And secondly, if you implement the movie class with the right interface, then you can not going to need this compare ID here. So you don't need to pass that in. Instead, you can just say sorted, open, close paren, and the movie objects methods that you implement will take care of sorting things correctly. So that's just a way to do it more concisely and more correctly. And then final point, I think this is pretty straightforward, but for the assignment 1C part, which is the movie EX portion, please make sure that you update your convert movie matches method so it uses a single helper method rather than writing the code like this, which has been subsumed into the helper method, so that'll just kind of clean things up. This code is not wrong, it's just more verbose than it needs to be. So that's a quick walkthrough of the first round of preliminary mistakes. I'm sure as people have more questions, I'll help them address those things. And hopefully that'll save you a lot of time and frustration when you try to get the program to work.